What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here of Marty Music. Thank you so much for supporting me with this new project by subscribing right here. Thank you so much. We're going to do the solo to Stairway to Heaven, but I also want you to be aware that it's basically using the A minor pentatonic scale with its extensions. And I had a 4-part series, like practice routine, that fits right in with this famous solo. So be sure to check that out. And I can't wait to show it to you. It's, one of the most iconic solos of all time. I think you'll dig it. You're going to need some bends, some pull-offs, some slides, hammer-ons, all that stuff's going to be in there. But I think you can do it. And let's get to it. Here we go. All right, here's the first phrase. So it starts with, think of that A minor pentatonic, and we're going to bend the 7th fret up a whole step, and add some vibrato up at the top of the bend. Index finger goes over to the 5th fret of the high E, and then we pull off on the B string from the 8 to the 5. So once we pull off with the 8 to 5 on the B, then we're going to pull off from the 7 to the 5 on the G. And then we're going to go to the 7th of the D. Here's what I've taught you so far. Once you're at the 7th of the D, the ring finger rolls over to the 7 of the G, and we pull off from 7 to 5. So then we're going to go pull off from the 7 to the 5 on the D. And then pinky, this is the only, there's a couple times where it hits a note outside of the pentatonic. And it comes from the natural minor scale, and this is one of them. It's the 8th fret of the A string. And that's an F note, and it happens to play right when the chord underneath it is an F chord. So all together, all together. Again. One note outside of the pentatonic. Now we're going to hit the root here, the 5th fret of the high E once. And then with my ring finger, I'm going to go up to the 8th of the high E. And I'm using my ring because we're going to bend that. So we hit once here. And then twice on the 8th fret of the high E. Then we bend it up a whole step. So we bend it up a whole step, then back down natural, then back to the 5th fret of the high E. Put that all together. So here's a cool little move that gets us into the little piece of the extension right here. Where after we go. So So we're going to slide with our ring finger from 8 to 10 on the B. And then we're going to hit the 8 of the high E with our index. Then we have a really cool move with some pull-offs and hammer-ons in this great little extension piece of the A minor pentatonic. Pull off from 10 to 8. Pull off from 10 to 8 on the B. Middle finger to the 9 of the G. Then back up where we're going to hammer from 8 to 10 on the B. Here it is again. Let's do it all the way from the top. Again, slow. So now we're going to go back to this main home row here, and we're going to bend that G again on the 7th fret. We bend it up and then immediately go to the 5th of the high E. And we do that same pull down, or pull off. So some little hammer-on, pull-off little sequences going on right back in that main section again. So we did... That's what we need. The bend, the root, pull off from 8 to 5, 7 to 5, 7, roll over to 7 on the G, 5 on the G, back to the root, and we're going to actually keep going down and then back up. So it looks like this again. So we roll it back over, and we get now to the A string. So let me show it to you from the top. New part. Now we have to pull off from 7 to 5 on the D and get to the 7 of the A. And once we get to the 7 of the A, then we go 5, 7 on the D. So finally, once we get up to that 7 of the D, we're going to hit that twice and then open G. Then right back to the 5th fret of the high E. So from the top. That's the last thing we learned. Now we have a new sequence that sounds like this. So we climb down from 5 on the high E, 8, 5, all the same kind of thing we were doing. So we have 5, 7, then a hammer on pull off to the 7 of the D. Then we got 7 on the D, 5 on the D, back up, and we have to eventually get to that F note again. This is where that happens a second time. So all right, from right here. All right, from the top. Once we've hit that F there with the pinky, which is the 8th fret of the A string, we're going to switch positions now into the A root minor pentatonic. So the next phrase sounds like this. So it's climbing up that A extension, the A root extension of the A minor pentatonic, but we have another F note in there, and that actually happens to be on the 10th fret of the G string. So that note is outside of that extension. However, the extension is the blueprint, the freeway, the backbone of everything we're doing here. The little practice routine I gave you. So we're going to slide from 10 to 12 on the A string with our ring finger. Then we're going to hit 10 on the D, then 10 on the G. So we just hit the 10 on the G, then we're going to pull off from 12 to 10 on the D, then go to 12 on the A, so once again. So 10 on D again, 12 on D, slid up a whole step to 14. go 12 to 14 on the D. Then we go to 12 on the G. And we're in that position now of the A-rooted pentatonic. Then we go back to 14 on the D. Then back to 12 on the G, 14 on the G, then 13 on the B. So the whole phrase. Let's do it from the top. And I have this little jam track going, and it's nice and slow. So I have a little jam track here, slowed down just a little bit, and here it is from the top. Nice and slow now. So then we're now in this A-rooted A minor pentatonic, and we're going to bend the 15th fret with our ring finger on the B string, back down, so up, down, 13, and then without a bend, 15 to 13. So bend, ba, da, ba, da. So then we're going to bend the 15 of the high E to the 12 of the high E. I'm not hitting the 13 at all. My finger's just there for support of that bend right there. Up, down, 12. Then on the B string, 15. Up, down, 13. And then 14 with the G string. Right into this repeating thing that happens 11 times. So that idea is which is the middle finger on the 14 of the G, 13 of the B with the index, ring finger on the 15 of the B, bent up and back down and pulled off. And it does 11 of those, because I counted. And then a nice sustaining bend on that 15th of the high E, bent up a whole step. So we're going to do a, which is 12, 15, pulled off. Then 15, 13 on the B. So we climb down all the way to the 14 of the G. Then that's 13, 15, 13 on the B. 14 on the G, 13 on the B, but I'm going to do a finger change to index on the 13 of the B, so then ring finger goes to the 15 of the B, and I bend that up a whole step. Then I get my pinky, once I've bent this up, I get my pinky on the 15 of the high E. Give it another little nudgy bend, back down, pull off. So 13 of the B, followed by middle finger on the root there, which is the 14 of the G. So it does 11 times. And before it goes to the high E, it only gets the 14 to 13. Times, or right when it gets to the second G chord, you got 14, 13, then the bend on the 15 of the high E. So I made a jam track even slower now to be able to go through the licks for you. there was the lesson. Thank you so much. Stairway to Heaven, conquered, hopefully by you and me together. It was a lot of fun. Be sure to subscribe right here to Marty Music, and if you have other requests, song lessons, techniques, anything you want to see, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And thanks for the continued support. We'll see you real soon.